Hey everybody, welcome back to Keith's Vision. It is January 23rd. I want it to be July already, but I'm having too much fun watching all these executive orders being signed by the boss. And as you can see, DEI dead and buried, January 20th, 2025. And the boss is sitting there by the grave. Okay, a little housekeeping before we move on. GiveSendGo.com/K Reuland if you want to support the show. It'd be greatly appreciated. That QR code will take you right there. And then also I have a Venmo account that some people find that a little easier. And that QR code is just as good. So the social media sites, will continue on kind of giving you this for a little bit until everybody's kind of caught up. It seems like we're getting quite a bit of views across all of these four sites. TikTok, even though it went down on January 20 for a very short period of time, seems to be doing very well. So I look forward to engaging on that for sure. So you can reach me on Instagram, Keith's Vision, GCD, on X, Keith's Vision 1/media for the video shorts. Also on YouTube at Keith's Vision GCD/shorts, where you'll see the short videos that are posted across the other networks. Also, there's a video tab there, and then you can see the full videos starting from the beginning of the month. Actually, week before last. TikTok, Keith's Vision GCD, full videos. This one seems to be doing very good, and I appreciate all the traction. So let's kick this off. Oh, when I saw this from Amir Sarfati, it was beautiful. There's the first and second family waving goodbye to Dr. Jill and her patient. And we are now unburdened by what has been. And then I thought this was really interesting. Somebody put the two together, the presidential photos. 45, smiling, happy to be in to do his job. 47, outlaw. And now he knows what's going on. And as you can see, he's not slowing down for nothing. Not at all. He's been signing executive orders since day one. Just today, this afternoon, was Martin Luther King, RFK Jr., Bobby Jr., Bobby. He has signed an executive order to release those files. Now the question is, the people that are sitting on them, are they going to have to wait till our folks get in, or are they going to heed too? We'll see. Going to be interesting. So, oh, this was so true too. So, Fearless Patriot popped up a meme here, the picture of Barack, Michelle, or Mike, however you want to go with that, Nancy, Chucky Schumer, and of course, Joey Biden. And they've got that look on their face like, ugh. And the caption being, Dems realizing Trump would be leaving office today if they hadn't cheated in 2020. You gotta love it. Gotta love it. Gotta keep the humor too. So Amir posted this today. This was and actually it was yesterday. So Pensacola, Florida got 8.9 inches of snow. So that would make that on the 21st. So much for global warming. Pensacola, Florida. Not so sure what's going on there. It seems here in California, we've kind of switched weather patterns. So here's an interesting thing. Just before the show, politics trending, 22nd Amendment was at the top and going nuts. So people are discussing the Second Amendment. There's about 2,600 people. They were way at the top. I went to fill up my water, come back just before the show, and Jennifer Aniston is at the top now. It is just brand new. I mean, it just leaped up. I have no clue, but there are some definite interesting posts about this. You got the picture of the Obaminator behind Michelle, and she's looking at her laptop, and he's asking, "How bad is it?" And he says, or she says, "They still know you're gay." They tried to swap or drop a story where they said Barack was having an affair with Jennifer Aniston to try to make Obama look straight. These are the posts that are going on right now. This is not the news, but this is what's been trending. And it just, a lot of this stuff. And then you got one of the wrestlers in there kicking tables and knocking chairs down and basically saying, Bill Clinton right now, reading that Obama had his affair with Jennifer Aniston. And of course, he missed out. So I'm not quite sure what's going on here because I haven't been able to. Oh, okay. So here we go. Rumors are swirling that a divorce is imminent. The Jennifer Aniston story is to deflect from the fact they are splitting because he's gay. So this seems to be rolling back to the Obamas. It'll be very interesting to see how this comes out. And of course, the obvious pictures of Mike, Michelle, whoever. Everybody's just having a blast with the memes. You've got Melania, you've got Mike, you've got Jennifer Aniston. Don Lemon thinks Michelle Obama is better looking than Jennifer Aniston and Melania Trump. So this is from Sequencer. If this is true and Barry is having a fling with Jennifer Aniston, can you blame him? I mean, that's quite a contrast. Mike must be furious. Raging testosterone fits. I wanted to do this one because it's at the top, but also to tell you this is what happens when everybody gets all worked up, right? It moves right to the top. Guns were up there, and we're talking about the Second Amendment, and then boom, next thing you know, Jennifer Aniston. Well, let's get on with some interesting stuff here. So California fires, as I've spoken, I think the last week I spoke about it. We've had some real challenges out here. We got some people that they couldn't lead it. A bunch of ants with a bag of sugar. They just can do it. So this is from Kaizen Cito, Los Angeles resident Jerry Simpson asked Elon to help LA fighters who had lost internet to restore connectivity. In response, this is Elon. This is total Elon. In response, Elon sent Tesla Cybertrucks loaded with Starlinks. Someone from LA Mayor Karen Bass's office heard about this and called her asking for help too. After she caught wind, Karen refused to help because she was not interested in solving this problem if it involved Elon Musk. This is where we're at in our country. Let's not help the people because they don't like me and they like him better. This is dumb. Let's just wake up, people. So the note also goes on. The average person doesn't follow politics or only consumes, and I'll call it what I do, lamestream legacy propaganda media, and has no idea how petty these people can be, right? This is true. So thanks to Jerry Simpson and Elon Musk for filling gaps that our leaders won't. So he stepped in. And I'll just read you Elon's post. he was he was basically saying, we're going to position Cybertrucks with Starlinks and free Wi-Fi in a grid pattern in the areas that most need it in the greater Los Angeles areas. And then he comments to that, apologies to those expecting Cybertruck deliveries in California over the next few days. We need to use those trucks. So people that are waiting for delivery, their truck is now involved in helping firefighters and command centers get connected to the internet and have phone and data, Wi-Fi. That's Elon. That's Elon. And then here's a note. Elon gets neck surgery and then heads to LA base camp to support the fire efforts. Mayor of LA, here's about warnings, heads to Ghana. Yeah, we remember that. So, same topic, fires. How about that? Go figure. So here's Gavin Newsom on the 17th of January. Congress should do the right thing. Provide expedited disaster aid to Californians in need. No conditions, no strings attached. He's acting like he's the ruler of the universe. But some people called him out. So he's basically saying U.S. taxpayers have to make up for his inadequacies as being governor, right? He's done everything to keep fire down here in Southern California by turning off the water that comes this way, blowing up dams for the fish, trying to save this little delta smelt, whatever. I vote for humans. Thank you very much. So in doing all this and in creating an arena for fire to just thrive, Dr. David Human, he says, Gavin Newsom, you are busted. Hamil Law accurately pointed out that in 2020, you inexplicably vetoed SB 182 that would have mandated fireproofing California. Oops. For this one alone, you deserve to be removed from office. What's wrong with you? So this is back October 1, 2020. Wildfire safety bill for new developments vetoed in California. Bill would have required evacuation routes. A lot of these places didn't have additional evacuation routes. So if you, I think it was the Palisades fire, everybody was trying to get out and they were stuck. They were jammed up because they couldn't get through. And those cars were blocking the fire engines from coming in. So what happens there? They had to break out their bulldozer and move the cars out the way because they need to bring in the equipment. So in 2020, they're making a note here, more than 3.8 million acres burned in California this year. That was in 2020. So the California legislature passed SB 182. And this weird deep blue in the legislature here in California, we've got a couple red folks sprinkled around, but there's just no power in the legislature. So they just do what they want. So I found it interesting that California legislature passed it, which would have required that new housing developments in very high fire zones include various elements to better withstand wildfires. It would have mandated design elements such as evacuation routes, and the list goes on. So basically, he called him out on it. You can't run from it, Mussolini. You can't run from it. It's you own it because you're the governor. You remember how that stuff rolls up to the top? Yeah. When you sit at the top, that's where it stops. So this was real interesting. This is on Breitbart. So Bill Maher, I love it when he has a come to Jesus moment, right? So the title, Mara on the Fires. Climate's mostly out of our hands. We can control high taxes for nothing, stupid DEI, and bass going Nero. So I'm going to read just a short bit of this, but it pretty much puts it in the truth zone. And this is Bill Maher. He just calls it out. So Maher began saying, and this was on his show, a lot of Democrats in this one-party state this week went right to don't blame politicians. You can't do anything about the wind, which is exactly half true, the wind part. Yes, fire is a tough fight out here. And yes, global warming absolutely makes it worse. But that's largely out of our control. What are we going to do? Pass a ballot measure to make sure the Chinese stop burning coal? It's also, yes, undeniably true that LA is built in a stupid place to build a city. But when it's not on fire, it's really quite lovely. And it's my home. And stupid as its origin may be, it's not going anywhere. Neither is he. But yeah, for him to call them out, that was beautiful. So Friday, this is where green and stupidity come together, right? This, if you haven't heard about this fire was going somewhere to happen. And then it happened. So evacuations and road closures begin as fire engulfs world's largest, wait for it, battery plant in California. Yeah. So this one was the Moss Landing Power Plant. It's no longer on watch duty where I watch the fires in California because there's no containment. So when they showed up to this fire, the firemen all pretty much just made sure that everything around didn't burn and that people got away from the freeway, most likely because of the toxic mess that was coming over them because the batteries were burning. Lithium ion batteries. We've all seen those videos of the Elon cars burning to the ground, and fire departments figured out you can't put water on it, you can't put foam on it, you can't put enough on it. All you can do is show up and keep everything around it safe and let it burn to the ground. That's what they had to do with this plant. I looked it up today. So here we're talking about, so this is a natural gas powered plant with the largest battery energy storage facilities in the world. Okay, so all they could do is let it burn. Now this is even worse. This is so California. And I'm going to break it out. So California. They built this massive storage facility with lithium ion batteries, the largest energy storage facilities in the world, one of. I keep hearing different remarks of is or is one of. And right next to it is a wildlife reserve. Hello, McFly. Who planned that one? Might as well have had it parked right next to a kindergarten. California, if we can't get smart enough to get this guy out, he could be running for president in 2028. Let's get our heads together, shall we? So here's what I found today, because the Moss Landing fire just vanished from reporting. Of course it vanished. You know that our brother Mussolini doesn't want us to know about it. So I looked it up today, and the report came from yesterday. It's the latest one I could find. Authorities in Monterey County, California lifted all evacuations Friday night, and that's mainly because it's contained. And the way the wind was blowing, it wasn't affecting the 5 freeway that was going by it. The Monterey County Sheriff's Office made an announcement shortly after 6 p.m. Health officials still advise residents near the Moss Landing power plant, located about 90 miles south of San Francisco, to limit outdoor exposures and keep doors and windows closed until further notice. Gee, I wonder why. The toxic batteries. Yeah. Yeah. So there's really not much more on this. It seems that it is near burned out, but the firemen are just going to let it burn. They can't do anything with it. And let me think about this. In California, we've already proven we don't have water in Southern California to put them out. Open up the fire hydrants and nothing comes out. And Mussolini says that's not his problem. Right. Sure. Fun times, baby. Fun times. But you know what? Amongst all this noise and everything else, we have a new president. And he knows what he's doing. And he's getting stuff done. And Tom Homan, his bulldog for ICE, the borders are, he's already started. He's already started rounding up the worst of the bunch. And they're going to get that whole process going, and he is not going to let off. He's been hired to do a job, and he will do it. You can 100% guarantee that. On my slide deck, I have had for a little while now, policies for the people, which has been created. I believe it was by Elon and Vivek. And then it's going to be managed by Lord knows who. But this is basically to get the people to go to the site, read up on what's going on, search for things that interest you, like, I don't know, that stuff that comes out of airplanes and dissipates and goes across the sky and blocks the sun, but doesn't even give us rain. Yeah, that kind of stuff. You can look for that all in here. Ban artificial dyes, as you notice. Really good information, and there's a lot of movement on a lot of big stuff. Single issue bills for Congress. Please. That's a no-brainer, right? So I have a QR code, but really you can just type in the search engine. Don't use Google. Find something else, DuckDuckGo, whatever, but don't use Google. They're going to give you all the other stuff they want you to see. Policies4people.com. And it's going to give you a lot of information on what is being discussed and where, how many replies, how many views, how much activity. There's 4 days of activity. So and then you got another one, term limits for senators and representatives. Oh, can we please? Please? Wouldn't that be nice? Does that have a nice ring to it? It does for me. It certainly does for me. So waiting for my computer to catch up here. So looks like I forgot to change the title, but I did change the verse on this one. With everything going on and the left going crazy on the right, they're freaking out. The world's coming to an end. OMG, they're going to start taking people out of the country that should be here. It's like all they are is parrots of the lamestream legacy propaganda media. We just got to let it go, right? Just got to let it go. So this verse pretty much speaks to that. Psalms 112, verse 7. They will have no fear of bad news. Their hearts are steadfast, trusting in the Lord. This is the character of a Jesus follower. This is how you will identify them. They will be the light. They will be the salt. They will bring flavor, right? We have to remember that life is but a vapor on this planet. A vapor, okay? 100 years if you're lucky. And what goes on from 70 to 100 Are you living in a hospital bed, or are you living a nice life? We don't know. But what we are looking for is the glorious appearing of our Lord. So here's that QR code for the policies for people, and then also the link down at the bottom. Again, you can just search for policies for people or policies for the people, and you'll come up and you'll see that same site. Back to where we've always been talking about, you can either choose smoking or non-smoking. Earth is preparing for a war. Heaven is preparing for a wedding. Choose your destination while you still can. And those of us that are believers, we can feel this. We can feel the spiritual warfare. The reason we can feel it is because we're of Jesus. He's with us. He's in us. So they want to distract us, right? The dark side. There's something to the Star Wars deal, right? The whole theme, the dark side. It's too late when you're no longer able to accept Christ. When you're dead, or the rapture has occurred, and you're left standing there saying, where'd all those people go? I guess my mom was right. And now you got 7 years or more of absolute noise. Absolute noise. Don't forget, there'll be Christians there'll be Christians on the flight deck. And you might have two believers in both seats, pilot and the co-pilot. Trains, cars. It's something to the 80s when they had the sticker that says, this, in case of rapture, this car will be unmanned. There really is something to that. Okay, so back to the beginning, where I talked about Second Amendment was coming up in the trending. We got to remember, it shall not be infringed. No conditions, no baloney, no BS, period. The help me sign, remember, we gotta get this around, right? Thumb in the palm, fingers over the thumb. Trafficking, everything else that's going on, we need to really watch it and be aware of it. At Tower Garden, if you followed me long enough, you know that this is this is where we grow our lettuce. I will probably have a video put together for this, and then I'll post it on my social media sites, and that way you can follow it. And then, of course, the Tower Garden QR code. Thank you again. Enjoy your week, and look forward to seeing you next week.